And then we didn't know what hit us.
Damn. So you ever seen the movie Pirates of the Caribbean?
That's about the Spanish. Puerto Rico was set up as a port city, and it was where all of the thieves kept their wealth. That's why it's called the rich port, because all of the wealth that they was stealing from the tribes, they had to take it to Puerto Rico to be inventoried before they ship it to Europe. And the pirates, honor among thieves, that's why they set up cannons all around Puerto Rico for defensive measure.
Okay. We have South America here.
Yeah. So Brazil, being the first to assimilate the pale nations of Europe and make them become a distinctly different people than they was when they came. So we got a term called Brazilianization, which is a reflection of the drop of blood doctrine being assimilated with the least amount of resistance from the nomadic peoples, or the organic peoples, I should say. And that's why the Brazilians look different than the rest of the tribe, because they've assimilated.
Okay. I think I asked you this before with the, this we're going to do like a real dope history lesson, y'all. There was a book when rocks cry out, and I believe he said that Jerusalem was the real Jerusalem was in Peru. You ever heard that before?
Look, Jerusalem is made up to push the Hebrew doctrine on us. Jerusalem only means city of peace. Wherever you've seen the metropolis at was a Jerusalem, a city of peace. They just trying to make it seem like it's some uniquely special shit. And if you go back to 1945, when they established the United Nations, 1948 is when they finally did their first act as a concerted United Nations, when they seized that land on the Gaza Bank and the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. But in the meeting between 45 and 48, they had 10 different locations that they was going to declare to be the state of Israel, right? With the city of Jerusalem as its capital. They settled on the city over there in the Middle East because they have ancient practices, right, built on top of ancient practices all in that area. And then they can use that as the justification for false narrative of religious doctrine. That don't work on me. So what they're telling you when they talk about a city is any city that wasn't in a state of war, because all of our cities is currently in a state of war. And we know this because all our cities have some stuff called police, which is slave catchers that worked for the empire, that ain't turning our empire. And they were the ones catching the braves and taking them as hostages to prevent them becoming chiefs.
Right. Yeah, we got Antarctica over here, huh? This is the this is what everybody talk about, Antarctica. Okay. Rod, is there any ancient texts that deal with Antarctica or the land over there?
Yeah. The Hindus have a series of writings on the landmass, but under the ice, it would be Tartaria. It's actually called Tartarus in the Bible. In the book of Enoch, it's called Tartarus, and the book of Enoch gives you the terrain that's exactly the terrain under the ice, and it tell you it's the coldest desert in the world.
Right. Wow. Just going over some land here. Wow. Okay. We got Asia, we got Russia.
So what you're looking at now, you're looking at it from what we would call an Anunnaki. Do you see where the separation is between so-called Africa and the Middle East?
You breaking up, Rod? You talking about? He said
that part right there.
Yeah.
Everything east of that, except for was Pakistan and India. Pakistan and India used to be called East Ethiopia. And Ethiopia means ether utopian. It goes back to something called Black root science.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes to some documents. So this was the land of Enki.
Ethiopia.
Right?
All of this.
Those big. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, everything north of India, Europe, and Asia is the land, and Australia. And it goes down to the Far East to Australia. That was all ISIS's territory or Inanna's territory by the division of the three Anunnakis of the earth. Then you had the Americas, which was the land of Tahuti, the great thunderbird, Kukulkan, Quetzalcoatl, right? But when you start reading those documents and you find out, you know, the story of the Arabs say, I thought he crashed and flew east and landed in the land of the hairy barbarian. He's talking about the original inhabitants that set up Egypt. So when you zoom in, you will see that Nile River is an artificial construct. It's not original over there, right? It was once the source of the fertile nature of what's now called the Sahara Desert. But they engineered the Nile River to not run into the desert because they had to fill in the Mediterranean bit bigger because of Mount Vesuvius.
Right. Man. Yeah, this is that was interesting right there.
Yeah, I wouldn't intend to go into no history lesson around the world.
Wow, man. That was yeah, and the thing about it, Rod, is that the maps, we don't even know how accurate the maps we got are. Like,
do a layover with the moon. You do a layover with the moon because the moon is reflecting the map of the earth.
Oh, the moon?
The moon is the tech. Yeah, so the moon is supposed to be able to be used to tell you if it's sunken lands. The sunken lands show up in the moon. They got the oldest reflection of the earth. It's seared in there for a reason.
Wow. We're going to get to two more questions that we're going to get out of here. Let's get to a super chat question. Hold up. Well, let me get to this one. What Rod, I think she's trying to say, what does Rod think about suicide?
Suicide resets you in the game. Take you back until you can figure out why you keep abandoning your post. So what actually the reason people commit suicide is part of the shut off matrix in the game. The game is designed that if you can't handle the pressure, that it ejects you from the game. And so you have to leave a clue behind for somebody to know that there was an issue here that needed to be studied so that we can find out how to exist longer within the parameters of the game. Most of us don't know. Nobody don't ever tell us when we little. We know as you grow up, life's supposed to have ups and downs. Sometimes this shit supposed to get so hard you don't even want to be here no more. But you're supposed to work your way through it, and that's when better days come. But it comes from not teaching people that life's supposed to get difficult, because the difficult times is the test for all of the easy times that you had before it. You were studying. Right. When you turn into a university, it hit different.
All right, let's get to the next question. Rod, can you explain how to reclaim family land if the corporation is defunct? Are land deeds contracts null and void?
The only thing they're going to be good for is what you call a trace record. The trace record is because, remember, the contract was canceled because they never honored the treaty. All of the treaties was all made up and predicated up on fraud. a constructed fraud. The constructed fraud was they declared $5 Indians chiefs and signed treaties as if they was with us. And when we seen in the South, a lot of us got trapped into what we call blind treaty agreements by not knowing the what we call the Queen's language, and not knowing the legalese, and not knowing that they're not the same. So a lot of them got trapped into signing treaties that they knew didn't have a fucking clue what they were signing, which was fraud. So when all of the contracts is canceled, when everything shut down and come back online, it'll be a path clearly to find out where your family's shit at. Because the corporation is defunct. It's a wrap.
Forcefield.
Okay, so when you got two polarities to a magnet, it creates a field. If it's laying flat, the field looks like the top of an apple, and it goes around, and the bottom of it looks the same. This is called a torus field or a torsion field. It's because of the pole in the center is it's projecting the field. Everything got a field. In the earth, it's called the atmosphere, but in the person, it's called an aura. And they are made in the torsion field. The heart chakra is in line with the crown chakra in order to produce a torsion field that's much bigger than the torsion field of your heart chakra being in alignment with your root chakra. When you have all of them in alignment, it makes your torsion field even bigger. So your toric field much is 60 feet around you. And when you wake fully into consciousness and your mitochondrial is putting out maximum output, which means that you're getting maximum information from the DEA, then you can reach up to 50 miles with your auric field. And this is why we are connected. To us before 1492, but because of the experience, a wise man will talk to the experience, and they will use terms that changes the psychological dynamic that's imposed on you by an oppressor. So don't get caught up and think that when Malachi speak about Nubians and Sabians, that he's excluding Hamites and Hittites. That's not what he's doing. He's going inside of the psyche, pulling the information out, so you can use it as a perspective of view to see what you face with. A lot of these terms, Asiatic, those terms mean something to specific people from specific bloodlines more than they do to the collective. It's called light code language. It's written like that for a reason. So if you want to know what the Honorable Minister Farrakhan mean when he says Asiatic black man, read the literature. They tell you what they mean. But it's not going to mean the same thing for me.
No, that's what I say. That's what I say too. Hey, Roy, I like how you put that, Roy. I like how you answer that question. Because, like I say, Bible taught that the Asiatic black man is the Hindus, the blacks, dark-skinned Hindus. That's what Bible taught us. So, and it's not us. We're not Asiatic black man. Now, some of us do got Asiatic black man in us because these dark-skinned Moors or Asiatic black man came over here and mixed in with some of us. That's why all of us don't got this real nappy.
You remember, Elder? You remember when I said go back and look at the wars that Rome fought, so you will know who they was taking as captives.
That's right.
It's a steady flow of information of who they was fighting the whole time while they was getting ready to come over here. They were fighting the Mongols, they were fighting the Huns, and they were fighting the Vedics, what the Nubians call Asiatic black man, the Hindu. Those are your Aryan race, those Enlil kids, but from a different wife than his wicked wife.
Go ahead.
right? So they was blessed with certain features in the face, but Enlil put his kids over Inky kids, who's known in India as Dravidians, untouchable. They got afros, look like the Jacksons in the 70s.
That's right.
Right. So those were Inky kids, right? And that was called Eastern Ethiopia. Now this is where we start going into the difference Asiatic black man.
Okay.
Because the Dravidian was there before it was Asia.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
And so before it was Asia, you had big nose, big lip, Afro wearing people over there. They still there.
Yeah,
you can still look them up on.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, you can still look them up on the internet. They're not hard to find.
Yeah.
But then the people who was given the title Aryan noble, they was placed in the palaces as the rulers. And because of the worship gene, they all stay in a place. That's an Anunnaki trait. If you ascribe a family function, it'll do that family function in the family for life, even if it's rat catchers.
Right. Go ahead. Neutral rat.
All right. Yeah, but whatever it is, the family gonna always. That's what their caste system is predicated upon. That idea. They changed it when they brought it to America. The caste system was predicated upon the brown paper bag test that kept us out of the institutions where they was exchanging all of this information that we now putting out in the public domain. They didn't just find this stuff out yesterday. They been knew this stuff. They knew they was going to do it before they done it because they wrote that they was going to do it before they done it. And then they said, don't believe it. They followed step by step exactly how they wrote it to get it done, but they tell us, don't believe it. It's a conspiracy theory.
Right.
Do with avoiding hostile weather patterns and what they call jet streams. In certain planes, you can't get caught in certain environments in the atmosphere because it'll send you straight to the earth.
Turbulence, all of that.
Right. So most of us don't know about all of that part of flying. So we're going to run our mouth and be talking about, see, in the plane, man, there's so much shit going to flying the plane. That shit ain't no motherfucker. Why you think everybody ain't lined up to be no goddamn pilot? It take a special kind of motherfucker to fly planes.
Yeah, you do have to be. I was staying with somebody who was getting his pilot's license, and that's technical. So you got to know everything. Like,
look, they directing traffic in the air. This like trying to tell bullets where to go in real time.
Right.
Serious. The only thing they trying to make sure is this plane and that plane is not on a cross trajectory with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And you can pull up the aerial map and see what the air traffic over the United States alone looking like, let alone around the world. So now you, the air traffic controller, you got to direct that shit. So it might seem like it's easier to fly from New York to Morocco, but they're gonna take you to Spain first or Italy first.
Right.
Right? Because it's the flow of traffic in the air. It's the same with the highways. Motherfuckers just don't cut across the woods to go where they're going. They follow the road. It's just that it's a road in the sky that we can't see with the naked eye.
Yeah.
It's like it's a river running in the atmosphere.
Almost like what Morpheus said. Who told you it's air? It just might be a lighter river.
Look, when the grid flip, we're gonna go to breathing the double oxygen molecule of the ozone. Ozone is gonna crush closer to the earth. The lower atmosphere is gonna move closer to the earth. And the oxygen that we breathe, we're gonna be breathing a double oxygen molecule, ozone. It's gonna change the way that we process metals in our biological systems.
So that's gonna be when we flip back and start changing colors, start derusting.
Yeah, so right now with soft metals, the soft metals is the dominant metals based on how our DNA was programmed when the Anunnaki interfered with it. We used to be